There comes a time in every person's life when the mirror no longer reflects just a face, but a question, a quiet question, one that lingers behind the eyes and hums beneath the skin. Is this all I am? And if you dare to answer it honestly, not with words, but with silence, you will feel it. The pull, the agitation in your bones, the ache in your spirit that refuses to be soothed by routine or reason. That ache is not your enemy. It is your awakening. It is your soul knocking at the door of your own being, saying, it is time to become not a better version of what already is, not a slight improvement, a small fix, a tidy upgrade. What calls you now is transfiguration, the complete, irreversible shedding of the old self. The moment you choose to become new, truly new, you will find that the world no longer recognizes you, not because the world changed, but because you did. And when you change, the world has no choice but to mirror you. That is law, not superstition, not philosophy, law. What I will tell you now is not a suggestion. It is not a hope or a theory. It is the truth. And if you do this for 30 days with sincerity, with consistency, with fire, you will emerge from the other side unrecognizable to your former self. Here is the command. You must live each day as if you are already the one you wish to become. Not merely thinking about it, not trying, not hoping, but being. You must wake as them, walk as them, speak as them, feel as them. And you must persist without apology, without delay, without waiting for proof. This is the death of the old man and the birth of the new. It will feel foreign at first. It will feel dishonest. Your mind will accuse you of fraud. Your body will rebel with old habits. The world will offer reflections of who you used to be. Ignore them. They are smoke from a fire you are no longer tending. For 30 days you must withdraw your attention from what is and give your full devotion to what shall be. The present facts are ashes. The future form is the flame. Attend to the flame. It was never about effort. It was about assumption. The world bends to the one who assumes with conviction. This is why the masses move with confusion and the masters move with clarity. The former waits for signs. The latter creates them. For 30 days you must become a master of your inner speech. Every idle complaint, every whispered doubt, every mental rehearsal of failure must be arrested, not with fear, not with force, but with replacement. You do not fight the dark. You turn on the light. And the light is the language of the fulfilled. The inner man who already knows his vision is real, who walks in it with ease, who holds no concern for how or when, because he is. To walk in this state for 30 days is not easy, but it is simple. You must no longer pray for change. You must become the change. You must no longer seek miracles. You must embody them. And you must no longer try to convince the world of your worth. You must live as one whose worth is unquestionable. For the world does not obey your pleading. It obeys your belief. When the ancient sages spoke of transformation, they did not mean the adding of something new. They meant the removal of what is false. To become unrecognizable is not to become more, but to become true. The self you are building in imagination, this image of power, clarity, success, peace, it already exists. It is not created, it is revealed. Like a statue buried beneath years of stone, it only awaits the sculptor's chisel, and that sculptor is you. You are not building a castle with bricks of willpower. You are unveiling the temple that has always been within. And each day you walk as your fulfilled self. You chisel away the falsehoods. I am not enough. It's not happening fast enough. I can't see how. What are these but whispers from a grave you've already stepped out of? You must now abandon your obsession with time. You must no longer ask, how long will it take? That question belongs to the one who still believes in distance between the self and the vision. But there is no distance. There is only delay in recognition. You are not manifesting something out there. You are selecting from infinite states and fusing with one by being it. Just as a man may enter a dream and forget the waking world, you must enter the state of your fulfilled desire and forget the lack of it. Speak only from the end. You must train the tongue of your imagination to speak not of what you hope to be, but of what you already are. I am successful. I am radiant. I am secure. I am a blessing wherever I go. This is not vain repetition. This is resurrection. You are not convincing anyone. You are reactivating the truth that has been drowned beneath layers of conditioned doubt. The greatest illusion of man is that he is powerless, that he must earn, wait, strive, that some outer event will crown him with worth. But listen carefully. There is no crown but consciousness. Every man walks the world in the image of his own assumptions. Whether prince or pauper, hero or coward, each has selected a state and walked faithfully within it. Now, if for 30 days you walk in the state of your choosing, as if it were law, as if no contradiction could shake it, then that state becomes your world. It may begin in whispers, a strange opportunity, a shift in mood, a person returning, an idea landing. But these are not coincidences, they are consequences. Consciousness is always first. Life only echoes it. You are not here to repeat your past. You are not here to mimic the expectations of others. You are not here to gather facts and call it wisdom. You are here to create. And creation begins in assumption and is born through persistence. So I ask you now, not lightly, not casually, but with the full weight of this truth resting on your shoulders, who are you willing to be for the next 30 days? Because that choice will become your form. If you say, I am wealthy, but your inner conversations speak lack. If you say, I am loved, but you rehearse rejection in silence. If you say, I am healed, but you bow to every symptom, then the soil of your subconscious is being sown with weeds, even as you speak of roses. Understand this. The subconscious does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you accept as true. And what you accept as true is not heard in your declarations, but felt in your embodiment. So when you commit to these 30 days, it is not merely a ritual. It is not an experiment. It is a resurrection of your rightful dominion, a reawakening of your divine inheritance. Each morning you rise not into circumstance, you rise into identity. And that identity must be chosen deliberately, persistently. It must be worn like armor, breathed like air, revered like scripture. Your task is not to fight the old, but to ignore it, to starve it of attention, for what you feed will grow, and what you neglect will die. So for 30 days, refuse to entertain the former things. When the old thoughts knock, do not answer. When the world flashes its appearances, do not bow. When fear creeps in with its disguise of logic, send it away without explanation. You are no longer explaining yourself to shadows. You are walking in the light of your new self, the one who has already arrived. How would you rise in the morning if everything you desired had already been fulfilled? How would you walk into a room? How would you sit with yourself? What would you no longer tolerate? What would you finally allow? Now live from that. That is the secret the mystics knew. That is the mystery buried in the parables. When the prodigal son came to himself, he returned not with shame, but with dignity. And the father ran to him with the robe and the ring. That is not history. That is you. You have wandered into far lands of doubt. You have feasted on the husks of old stories. But today, you return to yourself, not with guilt, not with apology, but with full recognition of who you've always been, the image and likeness of the Creator, not the shadow, not the echo, the very essence. And so for 30 days, I challenge you, no, I commission you to live as the one who knows this, not just to think it, not just to repeat it, but to embody it. Do not ask, is it working? Ask only, am I being? Because when you become, the world must follow. It has no choice. It is clay in the hands of your assumption. You will begin to notice the world responding not to your words, but to your essence. A glance will shift. A door will open. A resistance you once fought against will dissolve without effort. Not because the world has grown kinder, but because you have stopped declaring yourself unworthy of its gifts. This is the great shift, the invisible crossing, when you stop trying to get and begin to radiate, no longer pleading for outcomes, no longer bargaining with the heavens, but walking as one who knows. This is not arrogance, this is law, and the law is no respecter of persons, it responds only to states. To believe you must earn worth is to stay trapped in toil. To understand you are worth, and always have been, is to activate the law in full. What do you think a man like Edison saw in the silence of his lab? What do you think burned in the mind of Carnegie while steel was still a whisper in the dirt? Do you believe they waited for proof before they acted? Number, they assumed. And their assumption, married to faith, became fact. You do not wait for reality to confirm your power. You announce your power and reality conforms, but do not be surprised when the old world resists. It will tremble, yes, but first it will test, because the version of you that tolerated less, that believed in limitation, that found comfort in struggle, that version must die, and every death comes with mourning. There will be days when your mind tries to resurrect the past, days when fear comes dressed as reason, days when nothing around you reflects the inner change you've committed to. Persist anyway. This is the sacred fire of transformation, not made of comfort, but of consecration. You are not being punished. You are being refined. Each time you refuse to bow to the old story, even when no one applauds, even when results delay, you engrave your new identity deeper into the fabric of being. And there will come a moment, quietly, without ceremony, when something shifts, not outside, inside, a sacred calm, a stillness so undeniable you'll feel it more real than any applause or proof. It is the moment you know, without sight, the moment you trust, without needing reason, the moment you stop performing and start embodying. And when that moment arrives, do not celebrate too quickly, because the most dangerous temptation will whisper then, "You can relax now. You've done enough. You don't have to continue." But that is not your cue to stop. That is your cue to press in. For it is not the first week that changes you, not the bursts of motivation, not the emotional highs. It is the discipline of consistency, the relentless decision to remain in the state you've claimed, even when the fire goes out, even when the mood fades. This is the difference between dabblers and creators, between those who taste the idea and those who become it. And if you persist, if you hold fast to the assumption of the wish fulfilled for 30 days, not visiting it, not daydreaming of it, but living from it, you will rise one morning and not recognize yourself, because you will no longer be the one who wanted. You will be the one who is. And from that place, there is no striving, there is only flow, there is no hoping, there is only knowing, there is no resistance, there is only unfolding. You become magnetic. Not by force, but by being. And the world rearranges, not because you chase it, but because you have become the cause. They may ask you what you did, what changed, why are you different, where did all of this come from? And you'll find it hard to explain, because what happened didn't take place in the outer world. It was not a promotion, not a lucky break, not a chance meeting. It was an invisible revolt. You overthrew a false king, the image of yourself you had accepted for too long. You cast down the idol of delay. You silenced the voice of not yet and dethroned the myth of waiting. You claimed your inheritance. And what is that inheritance? The divine right to create, to enter the secret chamber of imagination and dwell in the end, not as a trespasser, but as the rightful owner. To know, without needing to prove, that your assumptions are seeds and the world is your soil. To rise in the morning, not with doubt, but with dominion. You are no longer a servant of circumstance. You are the potter, the sculptor, the architect, and your vision is law. What begins as imagination becomes atmosphere. What begins as silent knowing becomes form. What begins as feeling becomes fact. For 30 days you did not ask, you assumed. You did not try, you became. And now the world cannot help but mirror the truth you have insisted upon. Do not break the rhythm. Do not return to the lesser identity, not even in memory. If you must look back, let it only be to marvel at how far you've come. If you must speak of the old, let it be only to show others what is possible. But never again shrink for comfort, never again beg for crumbs, never again forget who you are, because now you know, not by hearsay, not by doctrine, but by experience. And once you know, truly know, you can never be the same. This is what it means to be unrecognizable, not because your face has changed, but because your presence has. Not because you spoke louder, but because your energy speaks first. Not because you have more, but because you are more. You are the embodiment of the unseen, the evidence of things not yet visible, the living proof that man's only limit is the one he dares to keep. So I tell you, do not stop here. Extend the 30 into a lifetime. Let this new identity be the only one you answer to. Walk as though every step is blessed. Speak as though every word is a decree. Stand as though the universe itself responds to your inner command, because it does. And when the world tries to pull you back, as it surely will, remember this one thing: you no longer move by sight, you move by vision, and that vision is law. So declare it again: I am not becoming, I am.